All these clones, we the original.
The Original People Network presents Behind the Box with Hamian.
And I'm back up on my hydrogen. They was asking if I'm about to go dumb again. I couldn't lie, I betray what I've been holding in. I couldn't lie, I betray what I've been holding in. The kids need a place for the safety. I made a wave, everybody think it's crazy. I made another and they calling me a renegade. And only God saved.
Hey, welcome back to Break the Box. Yeah, we got claps because we had the home stretch, and we're gonna close it out with a bang on a solid note. For everyone watching, just to remind y'all, my name is Boat, and this is Behind the Box, the exclusive limited edition, one of a kind, never seen before series in collaboration with Original People Network and Hamian to bring y'all the inside scoop behind the box. And this conversation in particular will give y'all some insight on what we're doing right now behind the box to make the box as fresh as possible. So I have with me the one and only Monika. Introduce yourself.
Hello.
Big hype.
Hey everyone, I'm Monika Anne Cunningham, also known as Monika Anne, and yeah, so.
Solid. And I think it's great to end this segment off with artists and with art because that's the space that we're going into right now. We're discussing art and we're talking about the power of it to do more than just sit up on a wall and look pretty, but actually make a change. And I think you're one of the perfect people to have on. You were able to be on our project as one of our directors for this Break the Box project. But before we talk about that, I want to pull it back and just talk to you a little bit about your journey as an artist. Talk to us about how you got into art and some of the work that you do right now.
So basically, I started taking art seriously, I think, on realizing my potential in high school, mainly from like the 10th grade straight up to senior year. And so I wanted to not only just paint and like make things that were like beautiful or pleasing to the eye, but address like topics and situations that might be uncomfortable or like swept under the rug, but also like realizing that being unique in yourself is what makes you like different. Like all of us are made differently. Use what you have, use your talents to express yourself. And then I also realized that it helps with difficult situations, mental health, like bringing awareness to it and also getting through it. So that's how I kind of came up with Art Heals, which is my like slogan. Any work that I create, any events, any people who I try to touch is about healing and like bringing positivity. So yeah.
And that's big because, I mean, one thing that the one and only Lord Jalen taught me is this idea of being Batman and sitting back and kind of observing the culture and taking note of things going on. And I mean, with all the work I've done with him, and I'd always keep note of the artists that I would see. And your art would always stand out because it was more than just art. It was creating space. It was telling a story. It was upscaling and transforming products into something much more. Talk to me about some of your favorite projects that you've worked on, maybe all time, but also from 2020 specifically.
I think the first thing that would come up to my brain in terms of like most exciting would be during quarantine, to be honest. I felt the most creatively like energized, which might seem off or contradicting based on like what was going on, but all the ideas that I feel like my brain, I just felt free to like just express however I wanted to and to stay sane really. And so I think the quarantine backyard show that I had was the most exciting and still to this day the most exciting like project that I've gone through with. Mainly because it combined all of the things that I'm interested in, which is like creative direction, event planning, and then of course the art itself. So just being able to do that and realizing, okay, I have a space. We might be in a difficult situation, but you can still, especially with social media nowadays, you could still express yourself and touch others through that. So the setup and breakdown of the whole thing and creating the work, it was just amazing. Like think about it now, I just get excited because it was such an amazing thing for me, just as an artist and just like we saying breaking the box, but trying to think outside of it,
Yeah, so. I think it was great to see people who used COVID as an opportunity to really, like I said, break the box, get innovative, and try new things. I mean, for us, Hamian Magazine almost benefited more from COVID than we might have without it because it took us opportunity to network, builds connections,
Right.
build brand. And I think, like you said, with the projects you've done, you were able to grow a lot. How have you seen your support grow through a lot of the projects that you did during quarantine?
So it was amazing and like humbling at the same time, because I feel like everyone was tuned in because of what was going on through social media. And I decided to start a YouTube channel during that time as well, which was something that I've been thinking about for years. But like, I'm kind of a perfectionist, so I want things to be in place. But I was like, well, everything happening, let me just do it. And so with the help of Heyman as well, like exposure started happening where people would see my work and like, oh, this is what you're doing, what this is about. And they kind of felt the emotion through the pieces as well. And I think that's what kind of connected the, I guess, experience. And then I realized by posting, because I was kind of hesitant at first too, because it's so sensitive and everyone going through different things. But then realizing people like, oh my gosh, I felt that. Like, I can't believe you're feeling the same way. So that relating to other people really helped. And so I've grown page-wise, Instagram and like other platforms like a lot. And the work, I was skeptical to see if I would still get orders coming in like for paintings and stuff, and I wasn't expecting much. But this time is the most like flowed orders that I've had in a long time, because I guess people are inspired or want to support their own, or even just have that sort of expression in their houses or rooms to keep motivated and like keep going. So yeah.
A big conversation I had with Ari back in 2019 was how do we innovate and evolve the art community, and how do we create spaces and avenues for art to transform the lives of people physically? Because I feel like in some ways it's become a bit traditional and hasn't allowed itself to continue moving and staying up to date. At the very core of it, how do you take a piece of art and really transform it to be something that evokes emotion or that makes a social difference? Because I mean, even me as an artist, I don't know anything about art. I have no traditional art background whatsoever, but I understand that you can make things, and those things can then make other people feel things,
Right.
and those feelings can then result in tangible results, like social architecture. How do you give a piece meaning and feeling?
I think the main thing is just being like authentic. At the end of the day, all of our experiences may be different, but it connects in some sort of way. So just when you're thinking about making a piece, don't think of it as, oh, okay, I want to make it pretty, or I want it to be sold kind of thing. Like, just express yourself in that moment, and then also think this can go further. So, for example, when I create a painting, I don't think of it just as, okay, I think about this going in a gallery or like being sold to someone. I see it as, okay, this could be used as a symbol for something. This painting could be transformed into a poster with messages that go around. Like, you have to think kind of beyond what it is. And then also don't limit yourself. So you can't I personally don't like just saying, okay, I'm a painter and that's it. Like, it doesn't just stop at me making acrylic paintings. Like, I could be used as an ambassador for something, or art therapy through my paintings, or events that help with healing. And like, you just have to think outside, like I said. And art is not just one umbrella. I think that's another thing that we have to like get out of. It's not just someone painting or making a drawing and it's beautiful. It's more of different umbrellas of writing and performance, and even what we're doing now with the box, like, this is community building and like networking. So just thinking of like simple concepts, and then thinking, okay, what does this touch? Like economic, like which areas? Because I feel like art is like fluid in that aspect. So that's the main thing, at least. Just the changing the way you think about what art is mainly. So yeah.
And I'm curious, what was your first impression when you came across Hamian? Because I mean, I've known you for a long time, but this is really the first time that we've really reconnected and started to speak and get to know each other. What was your first impression when you saw the Hamian brand?
I was honestly like super impressed, and I was like the more impressed with the diversity and like literally thinking in a different manner, because as an artist, I feel, well, for some people, and this is what happened to me as well, you kind of are backed into a corner sometimes, and you're told that you only can do a certain thing. And if you're not one of the bigger names or common known, then you ain't really doing nothing. And so I was inspired by that. Y'all were reaching out to the, I guess, known names, I guess, and also smaller upcoming people that you might not even know about, and the vast amount of like areas that y'all were covering as well.
Yeah.
And like the way y'all were expressing it was in a different way. It wasn't just, okay, Bahamian, this only for this specific, it's something that anyone, wherever you're from, could be received. And, you know, I felt like that was just a beautiful thing. And it was also a way to connect, because I was learning about other artists. I was like, okay, there's some people who I should connect to, network with.
Yeah.
So I was really impressed and excited in future. I didn't know it was going to be like this quickly, but to connect and like work with y'all.
For
because
sure.
It's the same kind of, it's always good to like stay with like-minded people. And that's, I was like, okay, they look at it making sense. And I want to think, I would usually think of like things around that realm, like trying to be different, and like y'all stood out immediately. So,
and you know what's crazy? So I was on this podcast called Everything Cool at the beginning. at the beginning, like before quarantine started, and I was talking to them about my ambition of being able to do an art show in some type of way in the future. And I had that vision and dream and idea of it probably back in February. But like I said, I have no art experience. I didn't know how that would happen, but I understood if I just took the right mentality of position myself in the right place and having the right type of energy, that I could connect with the right people.
Right.
And it's crazy that, again, when you came on the show, there wasn't an idea of this. 3 weeks ago, there wasn't an idea of this being at the, like, 3 days ago,
Exactly.
only just like today, we were really finalizing how we wanted to go forward and build a project. But I'm excited that now we can announce that we're launching Project Break the Box, which is taking this physical structure of the box that we have and transforming it into this public art monument that can build culture and community. Talk to me a little bit about the project, what it means, and some of the goals and ambitions that we want to try and accomplish.
So, like, I'm super excited for the project, mainly because I think this is what it's all about in terms of connecting with other artists or even people who appreciate art, because you don't have to only be an artist to be a part of something great. And so the project, like Breaking the Box, I think will bring together like the art community, and you also get to see different styles of different artists and what they want to say and what they think Bahamian excellence is. And that's mainly the basis of the whole thing. Like, we want to bring together some of the best and inspire others by having this project, like this blueprint basically of using one thing that might seem simple or like, oh, I would never really look past or whatever, and then making it into something amazing. So I think that's what this project is going to be essentially, and I'm super excited because I could already see like how
vision.
amazing,
Yeah.
like how it could be,
That-
and the opportunities as well.
Talk to me about the blueprint. Obviously, we want to bring together a lot of creatives, but not just painters. We want to have different people together. Tell people a little bit of what they can expect when we have a finished project. What does the blueprint look like, at least for right now?
So basically, the box itself is going to be covered in artwork and Bahamian excellence, essentially. And you're going to see a collage or collaboration of Bahamian artists' work of both painting, but not only just painting, but writers, public speaking, excerpts of work from poets, and because, like I said, the umbrella isn't that just one umbrella. There are several ways to express art. So we're gonna have basically, you'll see the work of some of the best in almost like a Rubik's Cube sort of look, but lack of a better term, I guess. Showing and showcasing the...
Okay, sorry, 1 second. Let me grab this. You want to move this? I apologize.
No, you're good.
You move that. I think that's probably the reason. Apologies. I like that comparison to a Rubik's Cube, because that is actually probably what it's going to look a little bit like. My goal with the project is I really want to see how, by just having people in the same space, by having people pass by, you can spark creativity in people who look at it, being able to have words as well as photos. It's not something that you can measure by metrics. And that's one thing I like about it, is that, in the business world, in the politics world, everything is about numbers. It's like, how many sales do you have? How many people did you reach? But art is a bit different because the metric can't be measured. You can't measure people's mentality. You can't measure a lot of times creativity and culture. But that's the whole thing, that if we aim for that high of a level, you will have good numbers. You won't be able to say at the end of the day how many people had their lives changed, but you can say, you know, this many people saw the box and this many people passed by and consumed it. This many artists were involved. And if you maybe a year down the line, 2 years down the line, hear from these people, a lot of times they'll be like, that was a moment that really switch things and move things.
Right.
Even though we want to bring people together, we also want to have some type of a showcase.
Right.
And I mean, we don't have all the specific details for that yet,
Right.
but how would you like a final sort of signature showcase to look like?
So obviously we want to highlight the box at the showcase, almost like an unveiling, I guess. But we also want to get the community together and have networking as well and showcase maybe some of the artists who we couldn't specifically have on the box. So like singers or rappers or people who are creatives as well, but showcase it in different ways. So we want to have a night or evening or day or even all three where we just showcase that, and we have a cool, chill environment where we could just have a good time and use the box as a backdrop and, again, blueprint to say this is something that you could use in the future to inspire and to just basically promote what you're doing. So I see it as just like good vibes all around, music, and we already have the perfect environment because we have food and drinks, we already have good energy. So it's just a matter of putting it together. And yeah, I think that's going to be exciting.
Yeah, I think we really are blessed to be able to have this space of the
Yeah,
Tin
it's
Furl
perfect.
pop-up park to not only just say we could do this now, but who knows
In
where
the
the
future.
future may
Right.
lie. And even though there's this showcase that we're, setting up for around Independence Time, leading up to that, we want to get as much content as possible. So if anyone who's watching this is a content creator, a videographer, photographer, literally anything, you
Literally.
were invited to come and just express yourself creatively with this box. And then going forward past that, who knows, this may be the base of operations for Hamian work, Hamian events
Right.
on a regular daily basis. And again, who knows, this may not be the only box.
Right.
Maybe there's another box.
Several.
Maybe we
Let's
break
rock
this
something
box.
else, exactly.
We
Something big or more permanent, you never know, yeah. for
yeah,
sure.
and I think ultimately it comes down to the fact of the mentality, If you can change the mentality, if you can put people in that right mindset,
Right.
then
Anything is possible.
anything is
For sure.
possible. Anything is possible. What would you say to people who maybe doubt, their ability to break the box? You talked about how art can heal. There's probably some people who may see this box and may get inspired, but how do we take it one step further and allow for that piece to really change not only a mindset, but a paradigm on life? What is the message that needs to be intertwined into everything so that people can go forward and break their own personal box in their life?
I think like one thing to keep in mind is that it's your own journey. Like you might see the progress of other people or like some other creatives who might you might feel discouraged because you're like, I'm not moving as quickly or I don't get recognized as much, but it's more about like realizing that you have your own voice. And once you stick to your own, I feel like once you stick to yourself and being authentic, there's no one else who can do what you do basically. That people could try to mimic it, people could try to, but it's literally your thing. So once you stick to that, I feel like you could always be successful because something I do or something you do, you can't say, oh, I could try to mimic what you're doing, but it's not going to be the same. And so when you get to the place where you feel discouraged or that you're like, I don't really know if I could do this, take a breather, but then also keep like working at it. So like write down even the tough things that are happening or like whatever's discouraging you, and your challenge to yourself should be trying to overcome that and like surround yourself with people with that good energy as well, even when you don't feel as if you're in that space, because that encourages you to keep going and like making sure that you try to heal people with your work and stuff.
There's this phrase that I'm using to try and design the next line of clothing that we put together for Hamian of what I would the collection to be about, and it would be titled "You Can Never Be Me." And the reasoning I use that verbiage is because for some people you may look at that and say, oh, it's cocky, it's selfish, but then when you actually embody that phrase, it's like, I can only be me and you can never be me.
That's true.
So I have to be the best me I could be, and you can't be me.
Exactly.
You got to go and do your own thing. But just in closing, I'm encouraged to see the collaboration that's happened so far, and I'm excited for this project. And literally every day it comes to life more and more. And anyone, again, who's watching and you're interested in supporting, please reach out to us. If you want to collab with us, Hamian Official, Hamian a Magazine, reach out to us on Instagram and connect, because I think it's so important that we begin as artists shifting the mentality and community towards just that community, and focusing on working and coming together to really create social impact rather than just staying in our own lanes. Yes, we can be the best that we can be, but we can be even better if we all push at the exact same
Stronger
time.
together. Yeah.
Stronger together. Forward, upward, onward, together.
Hey.
This is Behind the Box. Thank you all so much for watching. We will have an amazing episode next week. I don't know what it'll be, but it will be amazing.
Right.
And you can count on that. Thank you so much for the people at Original People Network for helping us. Thank you so much for Hamian Official. Thank you so much for the Bahamas. And thank you so much for the opportunity, ultimately, from God to have life and to experience this amazing thing. Even though 2020 has been bumpy, it's only up from here, I think.
I agree.
Behind the Box, thank you.
Elevate, yeah. Sunday.